Hi guys, Lisa here again, and I wanted to do a video to show some more of my vintage finds. These were not all found in the last week, so this isn't just a usual thrift store haul, but I did want to show you some of the vintage items I have because I love them so much. And most of these things came from thrift stores, but there's one or two things that came from an antique store. So let me start with the clothing. I have very little vintage clothing, but I do have a couple of items. I recently found these, and I think I may have shown these in another video, but I just wanted to make sure I'd showed them to you. This one is a skirt, and it's kind of cute. It's sort of like the thing you'd wear to a country fair or something in the old days. Oh, by the way, these things are mostly from the 50s and 60s that I'm showing you right now. The interesting thing about these skirts I'm going to show you is that the sizing inside. One way I could tell that it was vintage was to look at the size. And this one is a size 13-14, meaning probably about a 6'8". Somewhere maybe a little larger, but it does fit me perfectly, which is why I bought it. And you can also see this old label here. This one says The Strawberry Plant by Dorothea Schoelen. And I looked this up, and this name is vintage. And it's really cute. It's got buttons. This is interesting. It has buttons that have seeds inside them. Actual seeds. They move around when you shake the button. And this is kind of cool because you can imagine these seeds have been inside this skirt for about, what, 30 years or 40 years or even 50 years, something like that. And so I thought that was really cool. And they also have these cute little rounded pockets. Oh, here's the front, and there's the little pockets right here. So this is one vintage skirt. This one was the same thing. I believe it had the sizing inside was different from usual sizing. Let's see. This one is by Bobby Brooks. And let's see if the sizing is different in here again. Can't really see it. No, I don't see the sizing in this one, but you can see it's still got the green tag on it, which means that I bought this skirt for about $1.50. Okay, and it came from the same little, volunteer store that I go to. And this one's just a plain rayon little swing skirt, but it is vintage, probably from around the 60s. Okay, I have a vintage handbag here. And it's a little gold handbag, kind of sparkles. And the reason I think it's vintage is because of this sort of, this might be the 60s, this sort of 60s, 50s style little catch here, the clasp. And it opens up, and there's the inside. So this is a really cute little clutch. I wear this stuff, so I actually don't really worry about damaging it because a lot of times these things have condition issues anyway, and I like to wear them. And my husband never knows what I'm going to come out wearing, so he sometimes is really kind of like, oh my gosh, look at that. And you know, I used to wear nothing but jeans and t-shirts all the time, the whole time I was young. I mean, I think of my 20s and 30s, and oh my god, what a waste, you know. But now that I'm in my 50s, I started to really get experimental about what I wear. So I wear all kinds of different styles, and this is what's been fun about going to thrift stores. I think my husband is just relieved that I don't shop at the mall. Okay, anyway, a couple more. This one is these are these little transparent scarves, and you probably can't see the color very well, but you'd put them on kind of like this. You've probably seen movies in the 60s that have gals that are wearing these kind of scarves, you know, in the little convertible to protect their hairdo. And this one has a tag that says Best Made. And I thought this looked like a vintage tag to me. And I got this one at the American Way for, I believe it was $1.50. Okay, and then same thing with this one. It's got what looks to me to be a vintage tag, which I'm looking for right now. Here it is. This one says Lady Heritage on it. These just seem like odd names to me for modern scarves. Like you wouldn't expect to see something like Lady Heritage or Best Made on a more modern scarf. Okay, and then finally this is the first piece of vintage clothing I ever bought. And I bought this in, I believe it was the Goodwill. And I don't remember how much it cost, but this is an old Argyle cashmere sweater. And here is the label, which has been kind of wrecked, but it says on it, I believe it says J.W. Robinson, and this is made by Pringle. And it says 100% cashmere also inside that label. And you can see it's got a little Argyle print on it. It's got the 3/4 sleeves. And sadly, this sweater, I loaned it to my beautiful daughter, who has blue eyes and blonde hair, which is hard to believe when you look at me. But she looks really good in blue. So I loaned her this cashmere sweater to wear to school. And so thinking she was doing me a favor, she went ahead and threw it in the wash. So it shrank. So this looks really tiny. It was more like my size when I first got it. And she also made a hole in the elbow, which I kind of clumsily fixed right here trying to sew it up. But it was already ruined by being washed. But at least it still has the tag in it. Okay, the next thing is the coats. I love 50s and 60s swing coats. And these are the kind of coats you see ladies wearing in the movies from the 50s or the early 60s. This one's got novelty buttons on it. It also has this nice design that it's kind of sort of a 50s or 60s style stitching right there. And then it also has little slip pockets. It's hard to show the whole coat in the frame that I'm using right here, but anyway, this is made of 100% cashmere. There's the label. I got this for $6 at an Oasis thrift store. It was a thrift store for battered women for their shelter. And this cost me $6, and that's my dog Lucy. She's scolding me for not paying attention to her. Okay, and this is my other swing jacket from the 60s. I believe it's cashmere. And it has a word, let's see, this is a Northfield by Vermont tag on the inside. This is also a swing coat, and it has, you know, the in the movies a lot in the 50s and 60s, is this 3/4 sleeve. 3/4 sleeve right here. And this is so the ladies could wear their bracelets. So I love these coats. Why don't you come up here, Lucy, and see me? Room for the dog. Okay, and this is my old dog Lucy. She's also vintage. Alrighty, I have some Moonstone Jewelry. I showed some of this in my other video, but I believe these particular strands were made later. Moonstones are lucite that kind of glow. Hi, baby. And this has a real cute clasp, this sort of double strand necklace. Okay. And this necklace is also a moonstone, and this is a really interesting color. You can see the beads are kind of loose. It's probably missing some, and somebody tied another clasp on it. Okay, here I have some pearls. These are the double strand right here, and it's got a really cute clasp. And I found these earrings, I'll show you one of them, that went perfectly with this. This is not a set. This is what you call a married pair. And you take earrings that you found one place and then you match it with a piece that you found somewhere else. And these all came from junk bags from the Salvation Army or from other thrift stores. Okay, I think she wants to go outside. So I'll see if I can finish up before she goes crazy on me. Okay, this is really pretty. These are made by Matisse. They're mid-century modern. This has copper and enamel. And this came from one store, an antique store. I believe I paid $5 for it. And then I had found the matching earrings also in a junk bag from the Salvation Army. Okay, just a sec, honey. Okay, and this is the first piece of vintage jewelry that I had. And it cost $8 in an antique store, and my husband bought it for me. And you can see on the back it's got these rivets. These are very common in jewelry constructed in the 1950s. Okay, these are just an example of comma earrings. I'll show you one of them. They're clip back, and they're in the shape of a comma. So wear them like this, and they're clip earrings. So this is really pretty. It's got different kinds of blue stones in it. Okay, I just have one more. Oh, here's a ring. This also has rivets in the back, which tells me that this is probably a 50s cocktail ring. And I got this for $1 at the Salvation Army. This guy sold it to me because it didn't have a price tag on it. And he really liked me and used to save items for me because he knew I liked this old jewelry. Finally, and I'm not sure if I showed this in another video, is this beautiful big necklace. Got this on shopgoodwill.com. And it actually has a matching bracelet. And this was much bigger than I thought it was when I got it in the mail, and I love ordering things online and getting the package because it's like getting a present or something. Anyway, this was much larger than I expected, and it is vintage. And a little while later I was in an antique store and I spotted this pin, and it goes really nicely with this bracelet set. And this is another thing we call a married pair. So I wear these together. And this is a Kraft Pen. I needed my glasses last time I looked at these. Here we go. Okay, and on the inside it says Kraft, let's see, 1950, I think it's 1955. It's hard to read in this light, but here it is. Very pretty white flowers and rhinestones. Okay, and just for interest, I just found this thing amongst my little antiques. This is a flask, and I got this in a junk bag. And on the bottom, it reads, I can't read a thing without my glasses anymore. Okay, this is English pewter, made in Sheffield, English, 3 ounces, and this you would carry around in your pocket with your spirits or your whiskey in it, and you could just, wear it in your pocket and pull it out and have a drink. Okay, and that's it for my 50s and 60s items, and I'll see you when I make my next video. Bye-bye. Come on, Lucy, let's go outside.